Well, good morning, everybody. Corey with KW Insurance here. I'm going to take you through just a really quick summary of what I think is coming for disaster money, just as a reminder to you guys, kind of where we're at in the SDRP program and the top-up payments that should be coming, the ECO, SDO payments that should be coming for you guys who are in drought counties, and also where we're at with PLC and stuff. So hopefully this video helps maybe relieve some stress here. This has been an incredibly difficult situation the last couple days with all this dust blowing. Obviously hard on people's mental health, which I'll go through at the end of this presentation, some resources on that too. So thanks for taking the time to get updated here. As always, just feel free to contact. Okay, so what do we have coming here that's positive news? And there's quite a bit actually for disaster money potentially coming your guys' way, depending on what programs you were enrolled in and stuff. But the first one is that SDRP program. We all pretty much automatically qualified for this if you had losses in 23 or 24. And then some of you guys were in stage 2, which you should be wrapping those up. The deadline for that was April 30th, I believe, too. But this program's closing out. So as of now, they've only paid out $6.7 billion in stage 1, roughly probably $3 billion in stage 2, it looked like is what they had budgeted. So what that means is there was $16 billion budgeted for this program. That means there's about another $6 billion that could be paid out potentially when this closes out in April. So hopefully by the end of May, you guys potentially that don't cap the program, remember there's a $250,000 per crop year cap on this, depending on if you're 75% or more of your income comes from farming. If it does not, it's $125,000 per crop year if less than 75% of your net income comes from farming. So either way, for you guys that have some room left in your payment cap, you very well could get close to double what you got in the first round of SDRP by the end of May. So whatever that number was, if you have some room left in your cap, you can use that for your budget. I think that should be. So on the PLC program, we're trending pretty much where we thought we would be for wheat. You know, we had a little rally in the wheat market here the last couple of months. So we ended up, instead of at $1.45, about $1.35 on this program, it looks like. And we should be pretty well wrapped up on that average. So that should be a usable number for this fall. Remember, these programs will come in October, these payments. Barley, $0 showing triggered on that. The new trigger price is $5.45. Right now, the national average barley price is at $5.45 a bushel. There is a few months left in this, so there's some hope left for barley, but it's amazing how often barley ends up right at the trigger. It's a frustrating crop that way. Good news in this program is if somehow barley happens to trigger ARC this for 25, you'll get that payment this fall, which is possible in our counties. Our yield was down a little bit, and the prices dropped, right? So you may get an ARC instead of a PLC payment if you're a barley guy. And then the pulse crops are all showing a triggered payment on PLC if any of you have pulse crop acres, which you probably, not a lot of you guys that are that way. But more or less, this is working out about what we thought. We were at about 10 cents on the barley before. I think now it's showing 0. It might bounce back to around 10 or something. Who knows? But all in all, most of us have mostly wheat base anyways, and that's going to still be a big payment that will be coming in October. So what about my ECO and SCO payments? The data has to be released by May 15th on the wheat, the barley, and the peas. So those crops will know pretty soon. I predict that ECO will pay on most of the crops in the counties that experienced drought last year because we had some price declines too, right? If you're a lentil or a chickpea guy, huge price declines in those crops, so you'll probably get the SCO side of that as well. And then the specialty crops, that we don't know until July, roughly. I think it's June 15th, they're supposed to release it. So, but real quick, just estimate for you guys, if you're a 30 bushel an acre average wheat grower, you'd be at about $20 an acre in payment if just ECO triggered on these programs from last year. If you have higher yields on your farm, then you're going to get more of a payment. If it's less than 30, then a little bit less than that, right? But I wanted to let you guys know that is coming, and it should come by the end of May as well. So 2 payments by the end of May, the SDRP top up, and this ECO, SCO stuff will have triggered at that point. I don't want to guarantee that SCO is going to pay for anybody or ECO, but I think there's a pretty good chance looking at our data, at least for Toole, Hill, Liberty, the counties that were in some pretty extreme drought, that it'll trigger at least the ECO side, or roughly 20 bucks an acre for you guys. So it does appear that Congress, the government's seriously considering injecting more money into the farm economy because things are pretty tough, right? So With the Iran war now, the blockade stuff going on, and the increase in energy prices and fertilizer, it looks like they're considering injecting another $15 billion into the farm economy, probably through some sort of bridge payment. At the end of this video, I'm going to link a Farm Journal video that's going to kind of explain what they're thinking here. But what does this mean for you guys? It looks like this one, they're going to focus more money into the specialty crop thing. They only gave $1 billion like the sugar guys and stuff in the last program. Peas usually fall under these specialty crops, so it could be more money for you guys that have pea acres. But historically, that much money injected in a farm policy program usually means about $30 an acre on average for a diverse farm in Montana. So it's a very rough outline of what's possibly coming. There is a crisis in agriculture that's not getting better, and they know they need to kind of keep the ball rolling here. So potentially you could, late summer or something, have another $30 an acre coming in a bridge type payment here. And we'll know more on that. This is kind of part of the whole encompassing thing of passing a skinny farm bill and possibly another disaster package if we can get that far in Congress. But just know it's on the horizon. There's a lot of talk about something possibly coming there too. So you guys that are having winter wheat problems, couple quick review things. Turn them in as soon as possible. We will discuss the options with you. There's a lot of different scenarios, right? Maybe all your wheat failed and you just want to take the money out of it. That's a possibility. You might have spots that failed, and that would be a replant payment scenario. Just a real quick rundown on that. For wheat, it's 4 bushels an acre, usually roughly for the replant times, let's say $6 a bushel, so about 24 bucks an acre they pay you to reseed spots. Never ever start reseeding without turning a claim in and getting adjuster approval. They'll usually release some of that over the phone, but they need to be in the loop on that. The other thing is, if it's a teeny spot, you need to have 20 acres or less, or 20% of the unit, whichever's less there, to qualify for the replant payment. So if you're going to have to just go reseed ends of a field and it's 5 acres, you don't have to go through the claim process. If you don't want to, you won't qualify anyways. But anything that's any sort of a substantial number of acres, we need to get that on the books before you start. Prevent plant claims. This is coming up on 2 horizons here. Irrigated producers, obviously huge water cuts again this year. We need a letter from the irrigation district that you're on with specific language talking about why they're cutting your water for you to qualify for this. So please, if you're in this situation, contact us. Make sure we get that letter from your irrigation district and that it's going to work for your PP claim for you. On the dry land prevent plant, this would be if things were so dry you just don't think it's worth seeding anymore. That we have to get to the late plant period and have it still be that dry to qualify for this. So we're about a month out from that on most of the crops. Like I said, this shows here June 1st for wheat and barley in Montana. If you guys just want to wait to plant because it's so dry that it seems like it's not going to be worth it, that's okay. But if it rains a bunch in the middle of May, just be alerted that you're going to have to start up again, right? You won't qualify for PP. So, but if we get all the way to June 1st and it still hasn't rained, which we've only got on our rain gauge here 1/4 inch since January 1st of stuff that wasn't snow, precipitation anyways. So it would be very likely if you're a recrop guy, especially, we could qualify some acres for PP in that scenario. We just need to get a ways farther into May before we could have that happen. So you have to turn the claim in during the late plant period. We need to be in communication with you guys, so please let us know if you think this is on the horizon, because we can't miss that window, and it's pretty small. You must certify correctly at the FSA as PP on those acres. Then those acres may not qualify for these disaster programs that they come out to. So some of these programs, if you had PP acres, then I think it paid on, but a lot of them, the prevent plant stuff, when they issue things like bridge payments or possibly SDRP in the future, you may not qualify if those acres were PP'd and not seeded. Which last year that may have aggregated to 80 to 100 bucks an acre, plus they don't qualify for ECO and SCO. So there's some stuff to consider that are ramifications for not seeding the ground above just whether you're going to get a PP payment or not. Last thing, and this is a kind of a passion of Wendy and I's, but it's definitely a passion of the Brown family, Northern Egg Network, is that they've started this beyond the weather thing, and this is mental health help for farmers in Montana and Wyoming. And cool thing is here, you can access some free counseling for people that are involved in agriculture that are having a tough time now. There's a lot of resources on this site that help you kind of understand where to find help, because it's hard in these areas. But the biggest thing is we understand it. Wendy and I, we're all having a tough time here with, my God, yesterday when the wind's blowing and we miss the rain. It's hard, but these things are cyclical, and we are eventually going to bounce out of this. And you know what? Even if we don't, there's more to life than what's happening on the farm, right? So big resource there. Go to beyondtheweather.com if you're looking for that. And there's also this 988 lifeline. So if you or anyone you know experiences what you feel like is a mental health emergency, you can call that line and talk directly to a counselor. Excellent resource for somebody that you think is really kind of having an immediate tough time. So I wanted to get that stuff out there, tell you guys that we understand how difficult things are. It's exceptionally difficult on the high line again because we're experiencing droughts and low prices. Once again, like I said, remember that everything goes in cycles. This will get better. But for the meantime, I wanted to get those resources out there. And thank you for taking 10 minutes out of your day to listen to this. If you guys have any questions, please give us a call. And there is some help coming financially in the next month or two that's going to soften some of the blow here, I think, for you guys at least. So thanks again. We appreciate you, and I'll keep you updated.